Video restarting itself and said, hey, 30 minutes you maxed. I don't know if there's anything else I can go over about my display. Again, I didn't get any of these guys working because channel sharing. I now understand how I'll get those working next year. And along the garage, none of these worked either. Slow down, too fuzzy. I couldn't get any of these guys working, but that's okay because I now understand what it takes to get them working. So that's the behind the scenes of the Rousefamily5 2018 display. And again, I had a lot of fun learning what to do. I'll continue to learn. I am going to take you on this journey. We're going to talk again about the incandescent lights here versus the pixels here. What type of pixel I'm using. You'll hear words like that's a W2811. It is a 3-channel pixel. That means that every one of these nodes has 3 circuits in it that will, and I think they're red, green, blue, that although it's one, because of the 3, you now have 3 channels in there. So one set of 50 is 150, and that's how I doubled my circuit, or overlapped my circuit and went into different channels. I don't know what else I can give for this right now. What's going to happen next is I'm going to take down the display, and I have my basement set up. All of my trees and everything will be, except for the bushes, that's no problem. But anything pixel related is going to go downstairs, and I'm going to put it on the wall in the basement, and I'm going to continue to program all year. I'm going to program my 2019 show. I'm going to teach myself Ethernet, and I might try a different, I call them platforms or operating system for my lighting display. Like some people use X lights. We talked about that in blog 1. I did try to do the X light. I found that X light was, now hear my heart, X light, don't kill me, Keith Wesley. I believe that they are an Ethernet based program predominantly, and because I wasn't on the Ethernet, I wasn't successful. I did like some of the programming elements of the X lights, but I started running out of time. By that time I'd already come up on Thanksgiving. Traditionally I'm live before Thanksgiving, and I didn't get this show going until December the 7th. So I was under a lot of pressure to get it going, and so that's kind of like what would happen. So anyway, I'm trying to think. That's where the silence is coming from. I'm trying to think, what do I want to say? What do I need to say? Guys, I think I got it. Again, continue to like and subscribe. I have a lot to go over. I do want you to follow the journey. A lot of changes are going to be done on the new display that's coming out. I will continue to purchase items and to grow my display. I was very happy with what I was able to accomplish. Let me flip around here. And very happy with that. One thing I didn't talk about, well, we'll get into that later, was my my trees out here. They'll be fuller, I hope, by next year. And these are just standard incandescent light. They're running off of box 4, which was running the 4 bushes back there, and I have 3 of which. I have this one here, and one in the center of the yard, and then this one here. And I've been throwing snow on them just to keep some moisture, and this tree is brand new. I think it was put in October, so I want to make sure it gets some water. Again, here it is, Sunday, what is this, I don't know, January 5th or 6th. Went skiing yesterday, and beautiful. It was 65 in Denver, and it was 50s up at Beaver Creek, so I had a great time. So I'm ready to take the show down. I'm going to go get labels. I'm going to go get some labels. I want to label everything as I take them down, so I know where they want to go. And I just remembered what I wanted to share with you about channels and circuits. And that's what the labels are going to do. The labels are going to afford me the opportunity to put the display right back up the way that I took it down. So, and guys, I know it's messy. I made some barbecue last night, my wood chips. This speaker is the Glowtech, and I've used it before for outside music. This year it kept, you move 5 feet from the computer, the Bluetooth aspect of it started getting staticky. So I keep all of my documents here handy during the show. And I'm going to make this just blog number 3. It'll be a part 2. And I have emergency kits. When I run my show, I have emergency kits. So if something were to go wrong, I can quickly assess the problem. In Army, we call it a quick reactionary force team, QRF. And so I want to get out there, quickly assess it, and then bring resources I need. So, real quickly, I'm trying to get to something specific. I had all information for my trees, but I'm looking for something specific. Okay. All right, here we go. So, this, how to put the tree together, no big deal. And here this says, about the red dungo. When I couldn't get one of my newer boxes to go, I went online and quickly purchased another black and another red. That's for high speed. Here's my music. We'll talk about that. I use Audacity. Love it, guys. Okay, so some planning that I did, and I date everything, who I talked to, when. This was in September. She said, hey, get your pro package. It was $120. Here's my license and all those things. I knew how I wanted which box to run what. But that's not where I'm going. All right, I'm almost here. Okay, so I don't know how clear this is. Circuit learning. When I was putting out my material, I was trying to be mindful of which line or channel was what circuit. And I started with something rudimental like this. Let me put these out here. I don't know how well you'll see them. Okay. Let me clean this up. Just bear with me. Can't have all this garbage in the way. All right, let me see if I can have this make sense. So I wrote down I need a pointer. I love pointers. I wrote down every box and what it was going to do. Remember, around the house, the front of the house, under the left window, I said box number 1, which was unit 1, has 16 channels, and it was going to run spinner 1, channel 1 through 8, and then it had the floods, which would have been channels 9 through 16. Box number 2, which was under the soffit, ran both of those spinners, 1 through 16 channels. Here's channel 4. Channel 4 ran a spinner underneath the garage window, or above it, sorry, and then the floods out front. Remember, I only ran 4 of the intended 8. I have plenty of floods. I'm just trying to get something out in the yard. Box number 5. Hey, I made a note to myself. It says, hey, box number 5 on, was that 11/24, maybe 2 days after Thanksgiving. At 5:43, I said, hey, that box is out. And it was important because, look, it's running my arches. And so I had to figure out, again, unit 4, 16 channels. Box 4, unit 3. And then here are my bushes. Box 3, unit 5, 4 channels, and I ran all the bushes with there. I even found, what is my Ethernet on my computer so that I can try and learn that. So, what else? Box 6. Remember I said I was teaching about channel 25, 26, which was really 1. I named that box 6 channel. That's the one that's on the side of the house with all the cuttings and the pigtailing. So that's box 25, and this is where I'm sharing. Okay, box 7, it's a pixie tree. I call that one box 10. And then my last tree, which was box number 8, it's on its own circuit, and that's box 8, pixie 8, and tree number 2. And I said, hey, consider changing to the yard line. That's okay, I've already bought another box for that. Right here, this is where I try to keep my circuits together and understand. And all this was, it was kind of like it was an epic fail. But now I know how to do that better, I hope. and we'll see. Box number 9, I never got working. It was a new box that came in, and it kept saying box. It says device unknown. I went online to the not Holiday Cora, Lightorama forum, and typed in device unknown, and sure enough, there had been discussion about it. And one gentleman referred to another person. Update your dongle, which is your adapter, from the black low speed to the red high speed. I bought the red. It came in, you know, I paid for expedited shipping because I'm in the show. I'm in the holiday season, and I could not get the drivers to download. Maybe I put it up there. Yep, there it is. Okay, up here. Yes, we do play a lot of beer pong. This is my son. He's 27, and he loves beer pong. What Melina doesn't, right? Oh, you know what? This is going to be the black one. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the black one. I bought another one of these. You gotta have. This is a part of the quick reactionary force that I have for my emergency kit for my Christmas, because I came in through. Remember wrapping around? I came in from the garage door. I kept my dongle on the floor. My wife comes out to the garage fridge to get things out of there, and I feared that she was going to step on it and crush it, because there was no way to kind of get it out of the way, because you see the tension. And so this just says my battery's low. Alright, I left my phone in the car after we came back from Beaver Creek, and so you're going to lose me here. So I'll talk more about the high speeds. I got my black dongles. I'll talk more about these type of things as you go on this journey with me. And what's important about this, real quickly before my phone dies, let me run outside real quick and I'll bring this with me. Once I put a product up, well, we call these props. Once I put the lighting's horrible. Once I put a prop up, the pixel editor, when you go in to build the prop, it wants to know what are the exact number of pixels that you have for this window. And that's when this is right. Oh, come on. There it is. Right window. I'm doing a 14, 22, 14. So that means that each one of these sides has a 14. The top has 11, 11, and 14. And that's how I got a 14, 22, 14. What that's doing is that's counting the circuits. That's how it knows that you have enough to stay within 150, or I'm going to push you to another channel for anything over your 150 channels. Circuits. And that's how, that's where the learning came into play. Boy, it was a lot of fun. My door worked exceptionally well because there's only, where's door? There it is, door. Door ran 3 and had a total of 45. So I was well under my 50, which would have given me the 150. So I ran at 45 pixels and 3 times 45, and I stayed well within my capacity for that, and I call that a 3511. And we'll get into more of like, well, what is the 3511? The channels and the circuits. What else is on here? Bottom left, right, left window. My left window is this says it is a 161950. I was on channel 36 with that. All of that changed because I'm sharing for this one too. In fact, this would only work when it was all on the white. So when I was doing the skill rep, this would come in, and I did some other part of the program, and the bottom stayed lit in white. So either I stapled it or I did something that threw off the data, because again, it would only illuminate at certain elements of a song or programming, and I have to figure out what I did there. So also notice that I didn't want to staple into the house, so I built a frame and I just screw the frame to the house, which makes it easy to come off, and I'll take it downstairs to the office. And so when I get ready to do my programming, same with the door. I built a frame around the door, and it's just a 1x. In fact, I have two there in the back. I think you can kind of see them back there. These are supposed to go over the garage, the bedroom window, and the top window. So they would have gone here, up here, and up here. And I'll get those again next year. No big deal. I just need to get a show out. All of this will be pixels. Even that arch up there will be pixels. This will all be pixels. And that eave. I have to rent what's called, I call it a cherry picker, but it's a bucket that will take me up safely to these areas where I can put the pixels up. I see other houses on YouTube that are doing it. I'm like, okay, how are they getting up there? Just with my 22-foot ladder getting up to this area, I'm not really afraid of heights, but it was just, I felt it was unsafe and it wasn't worth the issue going to a level 1 trauma facility for Christmas lights. Although I love it, these were easy to get to. I just didn't like the pitch on this part of the garage, but I felt like I can do it. I also did a recon. I went inside the house. If I take the screen out and throw a ball of string through the window, once I take the screen out, I can hoist up those frames, and then I could screw them in on either side, and both of them work. So that's an opportunity. But going way up there is really going to be a challenge for me. Okay, we're in blog number 3. I don't really have much to add. A lot of my errors, mistakes, running the wire so we didn't drive over them, all that will be done differently and better next year. I have some tricks of the trade that I've learned. I don't really have a lot to share here. I'm really comfortable with how that came out. It's a little neater than the others. Nope, I didn't tape them because I felt that they were under the eave soffit and that they would remain dry, and they did. This box worked exceptionally well. It just gave me tremendous muscle failure trying to screw it up there by myself. And that's another thing. I would like to try and find a way to put up the display without stapling and drilling into the house. And so when I take those down, I plan to just caulk them with some silicone, and I'll repaint I don't want the holes from where the box is screwed in up there. What else? These are not a big deal because I stapled them from the back. I just got my ladder out, went up there, and I just stapled them to the bottom of the, it's not a soffit, but this little piece of the, right here. So once you take that down, it's not, you never see it. You'll never see it. It doesn't create water damage issues or others, so I was very comfortable with that. Okay, let's see if there's anything else of value that I can share. And nothing's in that box. That's just a garbage box. I'll be learning, reading a lot. Anything that I did, I tried to make, as you see, I have copious amount of notes out here. I did go buy an amazing timer so that the LED part of the display comes on, the pixel part of the display comes on, no big deal. But then my incandescent LED part of the light show wouldn't come on, or it would just stay on. So I wanted to time them together, and this was amazing. It has, I could either do it off of a sensor or I can do it off of a timer. I elected a 4-hour timer. It worked perfectly with my timing of my display. They were almost within 30 seconds of each other based on when I wanted the display to run and go off. This would remain on. I can make it a couple hours after the display, or I can make it an hour after the display. And it worked out well. Here